Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Great Opportunities Inside Difficulties podcast. This is Rue Stewart. I wanted to give an update. Last time we had a show 2 weeks ago, in our podcast show number 5, I spoke about a great opportunity I feel that's come out of a difficulty I've walked through recently. I talked about, writing my book, how that was a big challenge for me to let go of my ego and pride and also walk through fear with talking about the stigma of mental illness and how difficult for me that was to walk out of that and be able to use my voice to talk about my book and what I wanted to share my story. And it was an 8-year journey. It was, painful at times, but it was liberating. And, the great opportunity that I feel came out of that was, the strength, the faith, and the courage it took me and the perseverance to hang in there for 8 years and finally publish my book. I can use that, those attributes, character attributes I developed during that time period to use my voice in other areas of my life. And in podcast 5, I spoke about, for a long time, even before I went to law school, I wanted to go to the John F. Kennedy School of Government at Harvard because I've had a dream for a long time to be a leader, to affect people in a very, very positive way for change. And, even when I was in law school, I went there several times. I actually have a picture of me leaning over the John F. Kennedy government sign, and I went looked around and but about 5 years ago, me and my wife went there, and I met with some people. And it's not a school for me because I'm not trying to get into policy. I wanted to learn more about government and be able political science. And before I open my mouth, I want to know what I'm talking about, and also I want to have a position or an argument that makes sense. And I want it to be, not. I guess it will be opinionated somehow, but I want it to be non-emotional, as unopinionated as possible, and also take into consideration all viewpoints. I think that education will help me. And I was saying in podcast 5, when I was leaving at the airport, my wife at that time was in school, and I realized she was going to school remotely. And I realized at the airport when we were leaving Boston that Harvard has a way to go to school remotely. It's called the Harvard Extension School. And, I may have gone to law school and everything, but of course, it was extremely difficult to get into the John F. Kennedy School of Government, and also, I'm sure, just to a graduate program at Harvard. But the Harvard Extension School makes it a lot easier to get into those programs. Most people are like me, they're older people. I'm 54, and people have families. I have a family, and I work full time. Actually, I own a law firm, and have a lot of other responsibilities. They make it if you take 3 classes and get a B or higher, then you can be admitted. I guess you have to pass a couple more things. And I'm very excited about that opportunity. I just want to share where I was with that. Last week, I talked about that. And I wanted to share that, since this past week, what I did was I was studying for this test they have called the Critical Reading and Writing Skills Test. And it's a test to see, where you are with your writing skills and comprehensive skills to see where you should start at. One of the things they want you to take is this really involved graduate writing course. And so I took the test. It sort of warmed me out. It was an hour. And I also wrote a letter to Harvard to the, that's one of the other great opportunities I feel that came out of me letting go of my ego and pride, just having this block lifted that I could just write them a scholarship letter. One thing with non-admitted students, they don't have a policy of not giving scholarships or financial aid, but it's not going to hurt me to write the letter. So I developed actually a really good letter about that. There are great opportunities inside difficulties. And I just, what I shared with everyone. And they wrote me back, and I sent a copy of my book, Great Opportunities Inside Difficulties, in my podcast. They said, thanks for sharing their story, but we do have a strong policy. But please check out other resources. So I'm in the middle of doing that. But I did send that letter, or actually an email, to the financial aid office at Harvard. And I did take that test. I haven't found out the score of the test, but I'm moving forward, and I pre-registered, and I have my class I'm going to take in my cart. And Monday I can register, and I just want to share my excitement. That's been a vision of mine and a goal and dream of mine for a long time, more than 20 years. And there are great opportunities inside difficulties, and I'm walking out in faith on great opportunities I found walking through that challenge of 8 years of writing my book. So please be there with me. I know God is, and I'm going to keep marching forward. So thanks for allowing me to share that.